I'm not hating, I'm just pointing out the one major flaw to the BRRRR method. Welcome back, my name is Alexbeltran. I talk real estate, and in this particular video, we're going to talk about the BRRRR method because it is the most popular real estate method in all of YouTube for a very good reason. It is a great method, however, it's not perfect. Now look, I love Biggerpockets. I watch the videos, I read the books, I am a member of their website. In fact, in my book recommendation video, I feature their books prominently. Look, check this out. These are the physical books that I have on hand. I share these with a lot of my friends, and I also have a lot of their audiobooks. So believe me when I tell you that I am not hating on the Biggerpockets boys at all. Well, maybe just a little bit of shade towards Rob Robuild, but that's only because he's pushing tiny homes and short-term rentals, which are, in my opinion, the worst form of real estate to be involved in. Just saying. In this video, I'm more so going to point out the problems that are going to appear if you use the BRRRR system long enough so that you can mitigate them, because the last thing I want is for you to hit the wall Wile Coyote style. So for the two people that don't know what the BRRRR system is, it is buy, rehab, rent, refinance, repeat. Pretty dummy proof, although we all know that there is a dummy out there that will screw it up anyway. As always, do your due diligence, do your due diligence, do your due diligence every step of the way, especially for the buy, rehab, and rent portion of this method, because it is the biggest drainer of your resources monetarily, physically, emotionally, especially in the beginning. This is where the majority of mistakes are made. My recommendation, I highly recommend you find yourself a sponsor to pay you for every time you say, "What the fuck did I just get myself into?" Because you're gonna be saying that a lot. You might as well try to get paid for saying it.
Contractor, no. I will not bow to any sponsor.
All right, quick story. My first real estate investment was $15,000. The property was built in 1899. Do you know the amount of problems that come up on a property that is over 100 years old? I wanted to cry out of frustration. Anyway, long story short, it all worked out. However, there were many nights where I had to do a lot of the work myself, a lot of the paint myself. There were several nights where I didn't sleep because my monetary funds were depleting way faster than I had originally anticipated. And worst of all, In-N-Out Burgers was over 2,000 miles away. Don't judge me. That's what was going on in my head. A 4x4 meat and cheese only with cheesy fries and a chocolate shake would have really hit the spot. However, that isn't the Achilles tendon of the BRRRR method. A lot of my problems would have been solved with more due diligence, except for maybe the whole In-N-Out situation. No, the fatal flaw to the BRRRR method is the fact that it is deceptively out of order. I mean, look, it is structurally correct. You have to buy in order to rehab, in order to rent, in order to refinance, in order to repeat the process. But the biggest hurdle is the refinance section, because you have to qualify to refinance. Unless, of course, you have endless amount of funds, in which case, I guess you can proceed without refinancing, but if you have that much money, I don't know why you would be using the BRRRR method. So for the sake of this conversation, I'm just gonna assume that you need to refinance in order to repeat this process. The refinancing portion is the most important aspect of this entire method. And what I mean by that is that everything that you do, from the buying to the rehabbing to the renting, should be done with refinancing in mind. I mean, even before you buy a property, you should consider, how am I going to refinance it? I mean, you can get away with not prioritizing refinancing for 1, 2, possibly more projects, but at a certain point, you're going to be encountering your Wile Coyote moment. Banks are changing, and maybe this information will be null and void in a few years, but as of right now, banks really like the W-2 structure. The further you get away from that structure, the more skeptical and the stingier they get. I mean, look, if you are a 1099 employee, you have to file taxes for 2 years before they will even consider giving you any type of loan. And just recently, one of my friends encountered his wile coyote moment because the banks didn't want to refinance him because his personal income couldn't cover the loans on 5 properties in case, the economy happened to go sideways. And right now, banks are really worried about the economy possibly going sideways. And understand, my friend is not broke. He works in the medical field. His properties are cash flowing very well. And even then, the bank said no. From what I'm personally aware of, there are 2 options for this particular situation. One, you wait it out until you can qualify to refinance, which in this case didn't work for him because he had a hard money loan. And when you have a hard money loan, time is not on your side. Or 2, get a DSCR loan, which is short for the debt service cover ratio loan, which is a loan for real estate investors that uses the cash flow of the investment property instead of the income tax, tax returns, and employment information of the investor. Now, he was able to get refinanced this way. However, he didn't get the terms that he was hoping for, which really threw a monkey wrench into his future projects. Now, I know that currently he is working on restructuring everything that he's worked on so that this doesn't happen to him ever again. And I'm curious as to, what that entails. So as soon as I know, but it kind of brings this kind of full circle. What other options do real estate investors have other than the DSCR or literally waiting? I'm sincerely curious because that seems like a very important question to have an answer to. This is the internet after all, so I'm asking you, what have you done in similar situations, or what have you seen done in similar situations? Go ahead and sound off in the comment section down below. Now let's rein this entire video back to my original premise. Keep refinancing at top of mind. It is vital that you know the terms, the requirements, and the underwriting guidelines in order to refinance the loan so that you can repeat this process, thus growing your real estate portfolio. As always, do your due diligence. Do your due diligence. Do your due diligence. Anyway, hit that like button or that dislike button. Who cares, as long as you interact with the video. If you want more videos like this, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. I would appreciate it. Other than that, I will catch you guys next week. Peace.